Latest update. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend and colleague I'm looking for another job after she was promoted instead of me? This is the latest update to this story. For the first part, click the link in the description. First and foremost, I didn't get that job. Got a call from my old client contact to say they're going to try and cope with the resources they have in-house for the foreseeable future and see if it's a success. But he stressed they thought I was great. I'm the sort of person they'd recruit if they were going to recruit. So he said he'd keep my CV and details on file, and if it doesn't work 6 to 12 months from now, I'd be first on the list for an interview. I personally think it's all a load of bollocks and I'll never hear from him again. So if I do, I'll eat my own arse. I've also been applying for more jobs. One, a recruitment agent rang me about, and it seemed promising. But as typical UK recruitment agent BS, they then contacted me back not long after saying they didn't go for me, but they'd keep my details on file, get in contact if there's anything suitable, etc., etc. Everything else is no good, either for less money, or if it is okay, too far away in the country to even commute realistically. But I'm keeping my eyes open and am very selective. I've checked out at work now and am doing the basics. I've had enough now, just don't want to be here anymore. I'm doing the minimum this week and also doing my contracted hours, getting in on time, leaving on time, having my exact lunch break, and not eating at my desk. People keep on asking me if I'm okay. I've just said, yeah, I'm fine. Also asking for my usual dad jokes as it's been a couple of weeks, and I've said I don't have any. Our department deputy manager, big boss's deputy, not the recently promoted colleague, came back from holiday Monday and was talking to us all, and they mentioned this work experience person who's coming in next month, and she said the plan was for her to sit with me for the time she's with us and get me to show her things, train her, etc. I said no, I don't think I'm comfortable with it, and to get her to sit with someone else. She asked why, and I said to chat with our manager or the newly promoted colleague about it. She just went quiet and I didn't hear any more. Manager has been working from home, so I haven't seen him. Also, we've been taking in some different work from the whole restructuring thing, and there's this one task/procedure we're going to have to do. A few people in my team were talking about it, including promoted colleague. Instantly, I knew the sorts of things we should do. Create a new database/spreadsheet, get IT to write particular codes, write this sort of report to use, and have people check in a certain way. But I kept quiet, didn't say anything. Someone asked me, "What do you think? This is right up your alley, this." I just said no idea. I think management should look at it, which kind of ended my input in the conversation. Promoted colleague is now starting to train with the deputy in the tasks that she's going to take over from her and the manager in the restructure. Also, she's been included in the team manager's calls and meetings, and I've seen it all in front of me. Feels like rubbing salt into the wound. I also didn't go to the celebratory meal that was held to celebrate promoted colleague's promotion last night. Deputy manager and another colleague who's been on holiday too decided to book something as soon as they heard about the promotion and said we need an excuse to do something social. I said no, it's my karate class and I'm not missing a lesson. And people were going, no, come, don't be a Grinch, you can miss a lesson, mate. And weren't really giving me an opportunity to say no, so I said I'll see what I can do. And they were at me all week. And then I just didn't turn up. I had a few WhatsApp messages in the work group chat and texts, but I said sorry, can't leave my class early. I just guarantee they'd be complaining about me, lol. It's my work from home day today myself, and I've not heard from anyone this morning yet, not even to ask me any questions. I think people are catching on now. I dare say when I'm back in next week and manager is in the office, I'll probably be having a sit down with him and the deputy and have another chat. Look forward to it, not lol. Now for the comments. Man, I totally understand. That was two people who were supposed to be on your side who treated you like you were disposable, and now everyone's expecting you to eat crap and like it. Don't do anything so bad that it might affect you getting a better spot somewhere better, but I don't blame you at all for checking out. Good luck. Oh, and that freaking weasel trying to gaslight you into doing extra work for some other fictional promotion is just the crappy cherry on the turd cake also. This drove me absolutely insane. I would be pulled in that Taco Belt and taught how to train people. I ended up training not one, but 3 freaking store managers when they went to different stores. I had no idea, but I wasn't good enough to be a manager. Screw the internal politics BS. Look, I don't think you're wrong. You got screwed. But be careful. You don't want to be perpetually salty. You can't have it both ways. Can't act your wage and then get upset when they train her in front of you. Of course they will. In my opinion, you've had your sook. Now act professional about it all. Yes, do what your contract says, but you're not helping yourself long-term by constantly crapping on everything. People know you're cut about it, and that's normal. But if you keep it up, people will get sick of your act and have no sympathy for you. I get what you're saying, but I'm not doing so well at present. I can't act like I'm this good-natured nothing bothers me guy who cracks jokes and one-liners like I always used to anymore. I spend the majority of my day just wishing it was over and I can go home. I've cried to myself these past few weeks more than I'd like. I can't be all happy for someone else and swallow my pride when I don't have it in me anymore. You need to be stoic in the face of adversity because your coworkers' tolerance will run out and you may not have another job lined up by then. Some of them might even agree with you, but their sympathy can only extend so far. I've been screwed at previous jobs and had to manage my emotional reaction. It helped me leave smoothly when I got a new job, and maintaining coworker relationships helped me in the future. I'm not turning toxic at all. I'm just refusing to do things I'm not paid for and not acting like a jovial clown to keep everyone happy like I always do. There's a reason why comedians and funny men end things, and it's because they can't put the front on anymore. Just like I can't. No, what you have described is exactly like what happens with a toxic work environment. The not doing things you are not paid for is one thing. The way you are doing it proves extreme unprofessionalism. I'm literally just refusing to train anyone, working my hours, and not doing extra technical work a manager should do. That's it. And yeah, I'm not being all life and soul anymore because I just can't. I don't have it in me. I refused to go to a meal I didn't want to do. So what? I actually had plans and don't want to celebrate someone I don't want to and be fake happy for them. Next story. Am I the a-hole telling my family my sister couldn't work with me because of them? I, 28 female, run my own business as a seamstress selling clothes I've made, as well as doing alterations. I've been open for 2 years, and I do a steady business. My primary income from my business is the alterations I do. I have a sister, 29 female, who we'll call Lana. Lana is currently a recovering alcoholic, and I'm trying my best to support her. Due to DUIs, she has been struggling to find a job, and her mental health isn't helping her keep any job she finds. I feel really bad for her, and while we were visiting my parents on Monday, I made the offer she could work for me. When I made the offer, I said that she could work inventory and register like a normal employee. She seemed pretty on board, but said she would have to think about it since she didn't want to leech off me. Our parents were also really on board and encouraging and thought this would be a great opportunity for both of us. Wednesday, my mom called me and asked if the building would now be in both Lana's and my name. I asked her what she meant, and she said since Lana is co-owner, her name should be on the lease. I told her it wouldn't, because she wouldn't be co-owner. I made it clear to my mother that Lana would be like any other employee. The reason I wanted her to work with me is so if she relapsed, she wouldn't risk losing her job again, since I know what she's going through. Mom beat around the bush trying to convince me to make Lana co-owner, and I repeatedly told her no. Not only for Lana's sake, but also for the sake of my business. I don't think Lana would be a bad co-owner, but at this time, she's still fairly unstable and I don't want her to get stressed and fully break her sobriety. I made this clear to my mother in our phone call before she eventually gave up. I thought that was the end of it, and a few hours later, Lana called to ask if I hired her what she would be doing. I told her the same thing I said at dinner, that she would mostly be doing inventory, register, etc. She asked if she would help with any of the clothes, and I told her when she learned to sew I would consider it. She accepted and seemed excited with the arrangement, since both of us have always loved fashion, and we agreed I would host an interview with her at the end of next week on my day off. My dad called me yesterday, scolding me about the position I was putting Lana in, and was telling me a meaner version of what my mother was saying, and continuously trying to hound me to give Lana a higher position. I was getting really frustrated, and I told him that if he and Mom wouldn't stop pushing, I just wouldn't hire Lana at all. My dad called me a terrible sister before hanging up. I called Lana and told her what happened and my words about not hiring her. She got upset with me, and I apologized and told her I still wanted her to work with me. I just didn't want the drama with mom and dad. She understood, but is still upset with me that I would even say that, even in the heat of the moment. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Ask your dad if he would give away half his business to a drunk sibling who has no experience, because that is what your mother is demanding. Yeah, especially since Lana is currently living with them while she recovers. They know exactly how she's doing and that she isn't fit to run a business. I have no doubt she'll be a great employee since she's always been the type to put her best foot forward in all she does. But with where she is at the moment, I think the stress would make her relapse. Ask your parents why they haven't added her to the deed. She lives there, so she must be a co-owner of the house by default. She doesn't even sew. Why would you give away half your business to a recovering alcoholic? I could see if your parents tried to buy into the business by offering some capital, but just expecting you to share like it's a cookie? I don't understand their thought process. Not the a-hole. Sometimes I wonder if my parents still think we're teenagers, arguing over who gets to drive the family car. As I said in a previous comment, their behavior is really out of the blue, since they've always been really sweet and supportive when it came to my business. I want to believe they might just be misunderstanding something, or maybe they're just stressed trying to help Lana as best they can, and taking that stress out in the wrong places. I'm just hoping this gets resolved before I interview Lana next week. I suspect they know she's going to crash and burn at this job, and their only mental way out of that doomsday scenario is to believe that this is a permanent gig that she can't be fired from. That doesn't excuse what they've done, however. That might be it. I know previously my mom had told me how worried she was about Lana going job to job. I think I'm going to have a family talk with them after the weekend is over, and hopefully I'll find out where this is all coming from and how to deal with it. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to become my dad's legal guardian, even though my family wants me to? I, 25 female, have a very complicated relationship with my biological dad, 53 male. He was never really present in my life. When I was a kid, I would see him every other weekend, but 80% of the time he was drunk and passed out. 10% he just never showed up. And the other 10% he was actually fun to be around. He never came to any of my school plays or events, except my high school graduation. My stepdad has always been there for me. He always showed up to every event, supporting me, giving me advice, and basically being the father figure in my life. My biological dad has struggled with addiction and mental health issues for years, and it's gotten worse in the last 10 years. He hasn't paid rent in a while. His apartment is often filled with alcohol cans, cigarettes, and even cat and dog poop. He's tried to hurt himself several times. He's currently hospitalized. Me and my dad's side of the family have always picked up after him after being hospitalized, such as cleaning his apartment, visiting him, and emotionally supporting him. He's tried stopping his addiction. We've talked to his social worker, but his psychiatrist keeps saying that he's all fine. A while back when he broke his hip, one of my aunts got upset at me because I didn't bring him groceries or cook for him. Instead, I contacted social workers and meal services to try to get him help, but he refused it. Now my family is talking about going to court to have him declared incapable of making decisions, so someone would be appointed to handle all his medical and financial decisions. My uncle suggested it should be me because I'm his daughter. And I'm almost certain he's going to ask me to let my dad live with me if he loses his apartment. The thing is, I don't want this responsibility. I also don't feel like he's ever really been a parent to me. I feel guilty, but I also know being his guardian would completely drain me emotionally and financially. I also feel bad because he's my dad, so I do feel like I have some sort of responsibility to help him out. I said that I don't feel confident taking this legal role, but I'd be okay helping in other ways if needed. One of my family members offered to take that role and said she wouldn't mind. But I'm scared that my family will see me as heartless and selfish, and I'm scared they'll cut me off if I say no. Am I the a-hole for refusing to become my dad's legal guardian? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your aunts and uncles should have protested this loudly when he wasn't involved in your life as a child. They are reaping what they've sown. Now my family is talking about going to court to have him declared incapable of making decisions, so someone would be appointed to handle all his medical and financial decisions. If the family wants to go through with this, then good on them. They should also be the ones to take accountability for him once they declare him incapable of making decisions. If you read this OP, don't participate in the process of declaring him incapable in any way. Keep your name, opinions, and perspectives as far away as possible. They can't just force a decision on you like this, and if they're the group who is filing to make this happen, then they are the ones who have to take ownership of him. My grandmother was also an alcoholic, and she was declared incompetent by the courts. Her brother did all the work, and all my mom and her siblings had to do was sign a form stating that they were not going to be her caregiver, that her brother would. They can't force you to take care of him. On another note, I am no contact with my father because he is my abuser. So when it comes time he needs help, the state he lives in will have to deal with it because I will not lift one finger to help him. I will not even bury him when he dies. He will be the state of South Carolina's problem. I live in another state and they have no laws saying I have to provide for him in his old age. Your father is reaping what he sowed. Block them all and move on with your life. Not the a-hole. Just because he sired you does not mean you owe him your life. He has not been a father to you. He has not taken care of you and has chosen drugs and alcohol over you for your entire life. His bad decisions do not obligate you to ruin your life to support him now. As for how your family views you, does it actually matter? Are you willing to set your entire life on fire for possible decades, just so some people have a warm fuzzy when they think of you? As for them possibly cutting you off, where was that energy towards him when he was being a trash parent to you when you were a literal child? Do not set yourself on fire just to keep the man who chose drugs and alcohol over everyone else warm. I wonder if they actually know how my dad was to me when I was a kid. I've never visited that side of the family other than Christmases. I don't know if they know that my dad was asleep every week and just not really present. He told me things that I should have never known as a kid too. Stuff about my mom or himself.